And House Republicans are calling on FBI Director Christopher Wray to testify about the Bureau's alleged coordinated targeting of Catholics. Now, Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan and Congressman Mike Johnson sent this letter to Wray to correct his testimony given back in July. The new request comes after Jordan's committee revealed that the FBI Richmond field office coordinated with multiple FBI field offices across the country to produce a memo targeting Catholics as potential domestic terrorists. Congressional correspondent Kilmeny Ducard is following the latest details from Capitol Hill. Kilmeny, good afternoon.
John, it bears repeating that is one of the most shocking revelations in all of this. This was not just isolated to one FBI field office. This was a coordinated campaign, rather, among multiple field offices to investigate these Catholic churches, as you mentioned, as potential hotbeds for extremism. Now, it was not as the FBI's director, Christopher Wray, testified before the House Judiciary late last month, isolated to just the Richmond, Virginia field office. Take a listen.
We do not recruit, open, or operate confidential human sources to infiltrate, target, report.
But that's not what this said. It sounds like you were trying to do it in Richmond, Virginia.
No, sir. No, sir.
You weren't? This didn't happen? You can assure us that this didn't happen?
That product did not, to as best as we can tell, result in any investigative action as a result of it. None.
A less redacted version of that memo that Congress received late last month indicates that not only Portland, but also the Los Angeles field office was involved. A letter from the House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan to the FBI's Director Christopher Wray says this new version shows that the FBI's actions were not just limited to a single field office, as you testified. This revelation raises the question of why you redacted this information in previous versions of the document you produced to the committee. It further states that this new information raises additional concerns about the accuracy, completeness, and truthfulness of your testimony. John, the committee has now given the Bureau an August 23rd deadline to provide more documents that it wants to use in its investigation.
All right, we'll be waiting on that. I'm sure you'll be on top of it as always. Kilmeny Ducard, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's get some reaction to all of this. Joining us now, a former Georgia congressman and former ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins, kind enough to join us today. Doug, good afternoon.
Okay. Good to see you.
It's great to see you. Let's get your reaction to this latest tranche of Biden family bank records. Evidence now of oligarchs from Russia, you have Kazakhstan, Ukraine, millions to Biden family members. It's getting, sort of hard to understand why there's not a special counsel probe when you combine this with Devin Archer saying there's a brand, and no one really can say what they were paying all this money for. Your biggest concern as you look at these transactions in the millions, Doug?
Well, I think several things come to mind, Bianca. Well, the first thing is one of your last statements there is, what were they actually buying? I mean, we always think of this in terms of help, services, widgets. If you're selling widgets, I don't think Hunter Biden was selling widgets. He was selling his name. He was selling his father's name, his father's access. And that's the only thing that you can prove through Devin Archer's testimony and others. And then the second part that concerns me the most is not just necessarily a special counsel. Where has the DOJ been in this, period? I mean, going back for a number of years, while they were still in office, we were having these transaction reports, these alerts coming from Treasury about this money, but yet nothing was ever done about it. And I think that's the concern that people see, other cases such as the Trump investigation, you see it in other investigations that are going forward, that the DOJ seems to really be operating on a two-tier system of justice, in fact, how they actually operate. And then you lay on the other issues here. It just is eroding the confidence in American people that this is actually an investigation that's actually being taken seriously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is, financial transactions that the Congressman Comer says they were stonewalled for getting. And now clearly we think we know why. Let's get your reaction to this other developing story, the Judiciary Committee, where you once were, into the FBI anti-Catholic memo. Let's play a little bit of Jim Jordan back in July here, Doug, talking to Director of the FBI, Christopher Wray.
Not recruit, open, or operate confidential human sources to infiltrate, target, report.
But that's not
on
what this.
religious
That's not what this
organizations.
said. It sounds like you were trying to do it in Richmond, Virginia.
No, sir. No,
You
sir.
weren't. This didn't happen. You can assure us that this didn't happen.
That product did not, to as best as we can tell, result in any investigative action as a result of it. None.
All right, so now we know, according to Jim Jordan, that it's Portland, it's LA. So he was under oath here, Doug. What complications does that pose for Director Wray? As now we know, things were not exactly as the FBI was stating.
Well, it's also the fact that they had redacted it seemingly beforehand, too, before that, before he came to here. Then now they're finding out about it. It seems like they were playing a hide and go seek here, which unfortunately with this DOJ in testimony before Congress is becoming more and more common. I experienced it with, during the Obama administration and testifying. When you would have the Attorney General come and others, and it's just in the directors of the FBI that they want to spin it the way they want to spin it. The frustrating part here is he trying, if you notice there toward the end, he trying to sort of get out of the memo itself by saying, well, we don't know if any investigations were actually started. This was just a talk. Then why was it even a talking point among this branch and other branches? Why were they even discussing the possibility of going after Catholics and others? That's the part that just doesn't make sense to most people when you look at it. Look, if they don't give a better answer here, here's the frustrating part. They can hold him in contempt. That contempt goes right back to the DOJ to actually prosecute. And how many of you want to raise your hand right now and believe that that would actually happen?